Hello students, welcome to Pi Academy, the place for mathematics and science. Dear students, in today's class we are going to begin a new chapter in physics. Before going to name the chapter, let me show you some of the pictures. Observe these pictures carefully. I am sure that these pictures will give you the information about the chapter which is going to be started today. Now let's go through the pictures one by one. This is the first picture, in which there is a tree and the fruits are falling from the tree and they are being observed by a boy. Go through the second picture. Here the ball is going up in the air, and is the third picture, in which the objects like home, persons, tree, grass, they are all on the ground. In the fourth picture, which is very familiar to you, that is solar system, in which the sun is at the center and all other planets are revolving around it. This is the fifth picture, in which the moon is revolving around the earth. Dear students, once we shall go through these pictures in detail. See that this is the first picture, in which the fruits are falling from the tree, right? Will they move towards the ground or away from the ground? Yes, towards the ground, right? Is it not because of the attraction by the earth? Yes. Then can we say that there is a physical quantity which is responsible or which is acting between the fruits and the ground? Which is that? Very good. That is force. So there is a force of attraction between the fruits and the ground. Similarly, here in the second picture, the ball is going up. Will it fall back to the ground? Definitely. Why? Here also the force of attraction by the earth. Right? Then, in the third picture, see that all these objects are on the ground. So, here also, the force is acting between these objects and the ground. Whereas, in the fourth picture, all planets are revolving around the sun. It is due to the force exerted by the sun on these planets. Right? And in the fifth one, here the moon is revolving around the earth. The reason is earth will exert the force on the moon. Right? See, in all these pictures, the force is responsible. But which force is responsible for all these cases? Very good. That is gravitational force. So the gravitational force is acting between the falling fruits and the ground. Gravitational force is acting between the ball and the ground. Gravitational force will bound all the objects on the surface of the earth, and the gravitational force will make the objects, that is planets, to revolve around the sun, and even the gravitational force is responsible for making the moon to revolve around the earth. Dear students, in today's class we are going to get the detailed information about gravitational force. Now, can you guess the name of the chapter? Yes, you are right. It is gravitation. So, now let me go for writing the name of the chapter. Please take a notebook and write the name of the chapter in the regular pattern. That is, you have to make 3 columns. In the first column, the chapter number, second column, chapter name, and in the third column, write today's date. Dear students, now let's go for discussing the chapter gravitation. With some pictures, we have understood that gravitation means it is the force of attraction between the two objects, and these two objects may be small or may be small like the particles of an atom, may be big like the galaxies. Got it? And these particles may be the particles of an atom or the big objects like the galaxies. They have the mass. Where there is mass of the particles, then there the gravitational force will be acting. Hence we can define the gravitation or gravitational force as the force of attraction between any two objects in the universe because of their masses. And if you want to take some examples for gravitational force, see the force of attraction between the sun and the planets, the force of attraction between the objects on the surface of the earth and the earth, then the force of attraction between two galaxies, between two solar systems, between the planets, like this. And what is responsible for the gravitational force? Just we came to know that it is, one thing is, it is mass of the objects, and second one is the distance between the objects. And these have been explained by a great scientist, is Sir Isaac Newton, in his law called Universal Law of Gravitation. Dear students, and before going to that, just I'll give you some more examples for the gravitational force that we see in our nature. See, we see the moon or any other satellites revolve around the sun, around the earth. It is because of the gravitational force. And planets are revolving around the sun. It is because of the gravitational force. The rainfall, snowfall, it is due to the gravitational force of the earth. Then not only this, even in the ocean, sometimes we see the high waves, nothing but they are tides. The tides are formed due to the gravitational force between the moon and the water on the surface of the earth. See, these are some examples for the gravitational force that we see in our nature. Dear students, just to recall the first 5 pictures what I have shown. Particularly in the first 3, we came to know that the fruits will start falling towards the ground. It is due to the gravitational force of the earth. And the ball which is going up in the air will fall back to the ground, again due to the gravitational force of the earth. And third one is, all the objects are on the surface of the earth. It is again due to gravitational force of the earth. Look here. Here in the first 3 examples, the gravitational force is acting between the objects and the earth. If that force of attraction is there between the object and the earth, then we call that as the word that is gravity. Gravity, this word is related to only the earth. That is, the force of attraction between the objects and the earth is called gravity. The word gravity was first used by a great scientist, is Sir Isaac Newton. And recall the last 2 pictures. In those, we came to know that the planets are revolving around the sun and the moon is revolving around the earth. Here, do you know which force will be responsible for making the object to move around another object? Yes, you are right. It is centripetal force. What is that? Centripetal force. Then you can define the centripetal force as the force required to make the object to revolve around another object is called centripetal force. Even we have come across this type of force in the chapter called motion, right? There one activity was explained, just you can recall that. So we will go for taking a stone, a small stone, then we'll take a thread and one end of it is tied to the stone and you will hold the other end. You start whirling over your head. Then you can come to know that here the force will be acting towards your hand. This force is nothing but centripetal force. Followed? And this force acts along the radius towards the center of the object. Followed? And this is R, and the object will be moving with some velocity. We can call it as V, and it moves along the tangential direction, is it not? Then centripetal force, that is FCP, can be written as it is m into v square by r. This is the formula used to find out centripetal force. Please do remember that. And here the planets which revolve around the sun, the moon revolves around the earth, and here the stone which is moving in the circular path. In all these cases, centripetal force is responsible, and this centripetal force is provided by, again, the gravitational force. Followed? Once I tell you gravitational force, that word will be used for the force of attraction between any two objects in the universe because of their masses. Whereas gravity, it is used, that it is the force of attraction used only between the object and the earth. Dear students, earlier I told you how the masses of the objects are responsible for the force of attraction, nothing but gravitational force, and also distance between them. These were explained by a great scientist. Once again I am telling his name is Sir Isaac Newton. He has explained that in the law called universal law of gravitation. So let me make the statement of universal law of gravitation. Just observe here. Here we are going to take two objects. One is object of mass m1 and another one object of mass m2. And the distance between their centers is d. Look here. Here the force of attraction is there between these two objects because they have masses, and we call that force as gravitational force. And this gravitational force is always directly proportional to the product of the masses of two objects, and it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. And this is the statement of universal law of gravitation. Then how to make the clear statement? Here I have written the symbolic statement. We can state universal law of gravitation as every object or every particle in the universe attracts every other particle. M1 will attract M2, M2 will attract M1. Every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force, that is gravitational force, which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Followed? Once I make the statement, universal law of gravitation states that every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. See, using the universal law of gravitation, we can derive the formula to find out gravitational force. Just for explanation purpose, I am writing it roughly. Just keep observing. Here I call this as statement 1. This as statement 2. Look here. F is directly proportional to M1, M2. F is directly proportional to 1 by 2 d square, or else inversely proportional to d square. So from the statements 1 and 2, we can write F is proportional to M1, M2 by d square. See that these are in numerator, d square is in the denominator. Here we have the proportional. We have to remove this proportional. That's why we should assume the proportionality constant. I call this as G. So F is equal to G into M1, M2 by d square, where G is proportionality constant. This proportionality constant is called gravitational constant. Gravitational constant. And this is the formula used to find out gravitational force. Here I told you G is the proportionality constant and it has a particular value, that is, it is G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. This is the value of gravitational constant. It is universal truth. It is applicable for all the objects in the universe. And this value was given by a great scientist. He is Henry Cavendish. Followed? Then you all may be thinking that how we get the unit Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2 as the unit of gravitational constant. It is very simple. Look here, this is the formula used to find out gravitational force. From this you can solve G. G is equal to, here cross multiply, F into D square by M1 M2. Then what is the SI unit of force? Force is Newton and D is distance. SI unit of distance is meter. Square is there, meter square. And here M1 and M2, they are the masses of two bodies. And the SI unit of mass is kilogram, that is kg. Here kg into kg, kg square. Take that to the numerator. It becomes kg raised to the power minus 2. See that? This is the way we can find the unit of gravitational constant. Followed? Okay, dear students, now I'll go for writing all these point wise. So then afterwards you have to copy those points. Dear students, here I have written the information just what I explained. So please write from here to there. The first one, it is gravitational force. We have already defined that the force of attraction between any two objects in the universe because of their masses is called gravitational force. In short, it is also called gravitation. Here we have some examples. You can go through them. And next one, gravity. We know that the force of attraction between the earth and any object. The object may be on the surface of the earth or it may be near to the surface of the earth. That is called gravity. And we have few examples. The centripetal force. The force which makes the object to move in the circular path. Nothing but the force required to make an object to move along the circular path is called centripetal force. Here we have drawn the figure. And with respect to that, we have written the formula. That is centripetal force is equal to mv square by r, where m is mass of the object and v is its velocity and r is the radius along which the centripetal force acts. And here we have written some more information regarding centripetal force. Centripetal force acts along the radius and towards the center of the circular path. And what are the planets which revolve around the sun? Or the moon revolves around the earth and other satellites which revolve around the earth. It is due to the centripetal force. And here the centripetal force will act towards the center of the sun or center of the earth. And this centripetal force is provided by the gravitational force. Dear students, next I am going to make a statement of universal law of gravitation, then derivation. And before that, please go for copying from there to here. Dear students, here I have written the statement of universal law of gravitation. See that? It states that every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. And we know that this law has been given by Sir Isaac Newton. And the importance of universal law of gravitation in nature, nothing but applications. We have already given some examples. The same thing has been written. The force that binds us to the ground, which is the gravitational force. And you just imagine in the solar system, if the gravitational force is not there, what would have happened? See, no planets would have been moving around the sun, right? But here all are moving around the sun because of the gravitational force. Then here the motion of the moon around the earth due to gravitational force, the motion of the planets around the sun, the tides in the ocean due to the force of attraction between the earth and the moon, or the earth and the sun. Next, the force that holds the solar system. So these are some importance of universal law of gravitation. Dear students, now we are moving to derive the formula to find the gravitational force acting between two objects in the universe. Got it? So you copy from there to here. After that, write the question, that is, derive an equation for gravitational force. So you should write the derivation with me. Now you copy this. Yes, students, see that? Check what you have written. The question is, derive an equation for gravitational force. This can also be written as, derive the formula to calculate the gravitational force acting between two objects. Hope that you have written the same. See, statement of universal law of gravitation is important one, and this derivation is also important. Now let us go for deriving. Here we are going to find out the formula to calculate the gravitational force between two objects. I go for taking two objects. See that this is the first object. You may call this object as A, and its mass, take that as M. Let's go for taking one more object. Call this object as B, and its mass M2. Followed? Let us go for taking the distance between their centers like this. First we shall join the centers of two objects, and this is the distance. Okay. Next, and there is force of attraction between these two objects because of their masses. We call that as F. Followed? Hope that you have drawn the same. Now you may start writing it. Right. Consider first M1. What is M1? Mass of an object. M2? Mass of another object. So here I write M1 and M2 are masses of two bodies. Next, what does D indicate? D is the distance between centers of two objects. Centers of two objects. Next, what does F indicate? F is the force of attraction between two objects. F is the force of attraction between two objects. Okay. Next, dear students, we know that Sir Isaac Newton has given the law, that is universal law of gravitation. Let us go for following it. See, right, according to the universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation. What is its statement? It is the force of attraction between is the product of the masses. Right? Here I write. Force is directly proportional to the product of masses of two bodies. Product of masses of two bodies. Then how do you write it symbolically? See, force is taken as F, directly proportional. This is the symbol. And the product of masses of two bodies. The mass of first body is M1, mass of second body is M2, and their product can be written as M1, M2. You may call this as statement 1. Next, another one. The force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Right? Here, go on writing with me. Force is inversely proportional to inversely proportional to the square of distance between the objects. Then how to write this? It is force F proportional 1 by d square, that is inversely proportional to d square. You may call this as statement 2. Let us go for using statement 1 and 2. See that. Just go on writing with me. From the statements 1 and 2, we can write F is proportional to m1 m2 by d square. Followed? Now, there is proportional. It should be removed. Hence, we go for assuming the proportionality constant, right? Then what is that proportionality constant? It is G. Here I'll write F is equal to G into m1 m2 by d square. In bracket you write where G is, it is proportionality constant. Or it is also called gravitational constant. Yes. So this can also be rewritten as F is equal to G into, write it separately, m1 m2 by d square. Hence the equation is derived. So very simple derivation. First you will draw the figure, then you will write the terms, then after that you will go for using universal of gravitation. According to that you will write F is proportional to m1 m2, then F is proportional to 1 by d square. Using both the statements we can write F is proportional to m1 m2 by d square. Then you will remove the proportional by assuming the proportionality constant G. Then the formula will be F is equal to G into m1 m2 by d square. Then here let me write about G, that is gravitational constant, and before that please go for copying from there to here. Dear students, go through this formula. What is this? It is the formula used to find out gravitational force. That is F is equal to G into m1 m2 by d square. Here what do you call G? G is gravitational constant. Then how do you define this gravitational constant? This question was given in the examination. Define gravitational constant. Very simple. Look here. The gravitational constant can be defined as the gravitational force between two objects having the unit mass with unit distance between them. The mass of first object is 1 unit, second object is 1 unit, and the distance between the centers of two objects is 1 unit. Then it will be gravitational force. Followed? Yes, please go for writing the gravitational constant definition with me. Gravitational constant. How do you write? It is defined as, right, gravitational constant is defined as, please go on writing with me, defined as the force of attraction between two objects. The force of attraction between two objects having the unit mass and unit distance between them. See, this is the definition. The force of attraction between two objects having unit mass and unit distance between them is called gravitational constant. And this gravitational constant is denoted by the symbol. What is that? Capital G. Right. It is denoted by capital G. Then as it is constant, it has a value. What is that value? So G is equal to, please do remember, this is very important, 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Followed. And who has given this value? This value was given by Henry Cavendish. So here I write, this value was given by Henry Cavendish. Then what is the unit of gravitational constant? It is, here only it has been written, that is Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. And this unit gravitational constant is also called universal gravitational constant because it is same throughout the universe. Here I write, G is called universal gravitational constant. Universal gravitational constant because what is the reason? The reason is it is same throughout the universe. Followed. So it may be you have to take the same value, that is G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. When the force acting between an object and the earth is being calculated, when the force is acting between earth and the moon, then sun and any other planet, from one galaxy to another galaxy, whatever it is, when you are calculating this force of attraction between two objects in the universe, we go for taking this gravitational constant value as it is. That is why it is called universal gravitational constant. And in the examination, and there was one more question, that is, find the SI unit of gravitational constant. Let me show you how this is. Please go on writing with me. Write it as a question. That is, as it was given for 2 marks. Write this as it is. Find the unit of gravitational constant. Dear students, we all know that the gravitational force acting between two objects, here I write, gravitational force, please go on writing with me, gravitational force acting between two objects, their masses m1 and m2 and the distance between them is d, is given by, how do you write? It is F is equal to G into m1 m2 by d square. Now please go for solving G because we are going to find out the unit of G. Cross multiplication. It is F into d square. D square is equal to G into m1 m2. Now transpose m1 and m2 to the denominator. It will be F d square by m1 m2 is equal to G. And we all know that SI unit of these F is, what is that? It is Newton, capital N. And the SI unit of D, distance is, this is meter. And the SI unit of M1 and M2, it is mass is kilogram, kg. If you want, you can write them in words. See, it is Newton, next meter. It is metre, meter, and kg. This is kilogram. Now substitute those here. Here I'll write unit of G This is equal to, and substitute. What is F? SI unit of force is Newton. Distance is meter, but distance square is there. This will be meter square. Whole divided by M1 and M2. Mass of first object is kilogram, and the SI unit of mass of second object is again kilogram. And this can be rewritten as Newton meter square by kg into kg. It is 2 times kg to the power 2. And transfer this to the numerator. Then it will be Newton meter square as it is, but kg raised to the power minus 2. Because we all know that 1 by a raised to the power n can be written as a raised to the power minus n. So we can write the conclusion as, therefore, the system of international unit of G is Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Clear? Okay, we have some more information. I'll go for writing that. Before that, you may copy this one up to here. Dear students, again I am going to take the formula to calculate gravitational force. Recall it. It is G is equal to, F is equal to G into M1 M2 by D square. Right? Look here. We all know that F is proportional to 1 by D square. Right? That means the force of attraction between two objects, nothing but gravitational force, is directly proportional to square of distance between them. So we call this as inverse square law. What it is? Inverse square law. What is the statement of that? It is the force of attraction between two objects is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is called inverse square law. And inverse square law will give us the information that how the gravitational force acting between two objects changes as the distance changes when they move away from each other, or when they come closer to each other, when it is doubled, tripled, like this. Let us come to know how is that. Look here. Here these are the two objects, and the gravitational force is acting between them. And this is the distance between the centers of two objects. And we all know that F is inversely proportional to D square, or F is proportional to 1 by D square. When the distance get doubled, look here assume that here is 10 meter, if it becomes 20 meter, when it gets doubled, then we can write 1 by 2D whole square. Then it is 1 by 4D square. Look here. Now, as the distance increases, whether the gravitational force increases or decreases, it decreases. Look here. It decreases by 4 times. That means it will be 1/4 of the previous gravitational force. Clear? Once I tell you, when the distance is doubled, the gravitational force decreases by 4 times. When the distance get tripled, then the gravitational force decreases by how many times? See that it will be 3D whole square. 3 square, it is 9. 9D square. So gravitational force decreases by 9 times. Very simple. Just you go for finding the square. When it is double, 2 square, 4. So gravitational force decreases by 4 times. When it is tripled, 3 square. 3 square is 9. Gravitational force decreases by 9 times. If the distance is increased by 4 times, then the gravitational force decreases by how many times? It is 16 times. Got it? Observe it. Assume that this is the ground, this is earth, and here is object. And object is at different positions. I call it as A, B and C. So where A, B and C are the positions of the object. Could you tell in which of these three the gravitational force is more? Very good. Gravitational force is more when the object is at the position A, because it is close to the earth. As it moves away from the earth, the gravitational force will go on decreasing. I go for taking one more position. See that this is D. Where the gravitational force is least, it is when the object is at the position C. Okay, the reason is the distance is more. As the distance increases, the gravitational force decreases. And now among these four, where the gravitational force is maximum, it is on the surface of the earth. Got it? Because the distance is least, that is nothing but distance is equal to the radius of the earth. Followed? In the same way, assume there is an apartment. In that nearly 8 floors are there. One student is standing in the first floor and another one is in the 6th floor and one more is in the 8th floor. In which of these 3 students the gravitational force acting between the students and the ground is more? Who is standing in the 2nd floor, right? And the least who is standing in the 8th floor. Clear up? Not only this, even the masses also, when the masses of 2 bodies changed, then again the gravitational force will also be changed. How? You will come to know that. Look here, F is equal to G into M1 M2 by D square. This is the gravitational force formula. When the mass of one object is doubled, when mass is doubled, look here, it is G into 2M1. M1 has some mass and it is doubled, 2M1, then M2 by D square. This can be written as 2 into G M1 M2 by D square. Okay, this is nothing but gravitational force. So here we can understand that gravitational force increases by 2 times. When the mass is tripled, the gravitational force increases by 3 times. And another interesting question. The mass of first object is doubled, second object also doubled. Then what is the gravitational force? Gravitational force increases by 4 times. See that here 2 and here 2. 2 2s are 4. Increases by 4 times. When the mass of first object is doubled, mass of second object is tripled. Then what is the gravitational force? Whether it increases or decreases? Obviously it increases. By how many times? Don't think that 2 plus 3 is 5. It is. These two are in product. So 2 into 3. 2 3s are 6. Gravitational force increases by 6 times. Followed? Now one more. See. Mass of first object increases by 2 times. Second object increases by 2 times. And that distance gets doubled. Then what is the gravitational force? Whether it increases or decreases or there will be no change or none of these. Which of these 4 is correct? Very good. It is the gravitational force does not change at all. Is it not? Because look here 2 and here 2. 2 2s are 4. Divided by distance is get doubled. D square. 2D square is nothing but 4. See that 4 and 4 get cancelled. There will be no change in the gravitational force. Clear? It is important one. Based on this only, there is a chance of asking the question. What will be the gravitational force when the mass is doubled or distance is doubled or when the mass is reduced to half? What it will be? When the mass of one object is reduced to half, gravitational force also gets reduced by 2 times. That is half of F. When masses of both the objects reduce to half, so this is by half, this is by half, then what it will be? Gravitational force decreases by 4 times. See that 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, 1 by 4. Clear up? When the distance is reduced to half, whether gravitational force increases or decreases? Obviously it increases, because when the distance is small, gravitational force will be more. right? When the distance is reduced to half, look here, 1 by d by 2 whole square. It will be 1 by d square by 4. Then 4 into 1 by d square. So gravitational force increases by 4 times. Followed? Okay. Dear students, now first let me go for writing the statement of inverse square law. You should also write the same. Write the heading inverse square law and write the statement of your own. Dear students, please go for checking this. Hope that you have written the same, and I'll write one more point with respect to this inverse square law. So we know that as the distance between two objects increases, as the distance between, please go on writing with me, distance between two objects increases, then the gravitational force, what happens, whether it decreases or increases? As the distance is increased, gravitational force decreases. That's why it is inversely proportional. F decreases. And as the distance between two objects decreases, gravitational force increases. Here, as the distance between two objects decreases, the gravitational force increases. Just I'll give you one example with respect to this. If D is doubled, then F, whether it increases or decreases, F decreases. Very good. Decreases by how many times? By 4 times. Followed. Similarly, if D is tripled, then F decreases by 9 times. Whereas if D is half, if the distance, if 10 meter is there, if it is reduced to half, that means if it comes to 5 meter, then what will be F? F increases, right? Increases by how many times? Increases by 4 times. Followed? Okay. Dear students, please go for copying up to here. So today, what all the concepts we have covered, they are all very important in the examination point of view. Maybe the definition of gravitational force and examples. Next, second point is universal law of gravitation. Third point is derivation of gravitational force. Next, fourth point is the value of gravitational constant, that is G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg to the power minus 2. Followed? And in addition with that, even I have given inverse square law. From that, we can come to know how the gravitational force increases or decreases as the distance decreases and increases. Followed? So with this, let us stop the class and let me continue the same chapter in tomorrow's class. Thank you very much.